and that's The Undertaker. And we talk about you being the best big man of all time, but obviously The Undertaker's had one hell of a career. You guys had some intense matches and some really just very, very all-time feuds, especially for that era of the WWF. And we didn't even hit the WWF. But before we finish it up with your legacy, just kind of synopsis the feud with The Undertaker and him being, another one of the greatest big men of all time. But really, like you said, he's a bigger guy. But how did you guys kind of clash together?
He was so much taller than me. He's 6'9", 6'10", and very, very big, very strong, very, very agile big man. And, like I said, for me to go out with HBK and tear down the house, or go out with, Sting and tear down the house, or Ric Flair, or an Inoki, or, a smaller wrestler, and have that 5-star match with those guys, Muta. And then for me, it was like, well, hey, this guy's nearly 7 foot tall, and he's 300 and what? How heavy was Undertaker?
Oh, he was like 320 back then.
Yeah, 320, 330, and there's just some things you couldn't do with a guy that tall and that heavy. You couldn't necessarily press him, and maybe Mark Henry could, but you couldn't. It was hard flexing him. It was hard doing a lot of things because, again, I'm 6'3.5". I'm not that tall. I mean, I'm tall for the average person and stand out in a normal crowd, but when you're standing next to a nearly 7 foot tall, giant, and maybe he should be classified a giant. He's, there in my mind there are, in wrestling there are giants, and then there's super heavyweights, and then there's big men, and of course, and then there's there's other groups, other categories as well. But for purposes of our conversation, like Big Show is definitely a giant. And Undertaker, to say he's a big man, well, sure, he's a big man, but is he a giant or is he a big guy, a big man? In the strictest sense of the word. So, like a Kane, he's kind of in the middle. He's 6'9", 6. He's as tall as the Undertaker, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I know this. The Undertaker, in my book, would be hard to beat, and I think, maybe in my prime, in the 90, 93. I think in 93, I was the number one wrestler in the world by that Wrestling Observer award, and I don't think there's ever been no 400-pounder ever to get ranked that high to take the number one spot.